In a democracy, the only answer to bad, hateful speech is better speech. All that and more now on Graph's Grievances. For the first time in American history, the leading candidate for president of the United States is promising to be a dictator on day one if elected to the Oval Office. Former president and aspiring dictator Donald Trump now leading President Joe Biden by 4 percentage points nationally, according to brand new Wall Street Journal polling. Trump's lead expands to 6 points over Biden when 5 potential third-party and independent candidates are added to the mix. The willingness of around half of voting-age Americans to embrace a man promising to be a dictator, deeply frightening for anyone who knows anything about totalitarianism and absolute power. But tragically, it appears far too many Americans on the right and the left do not understand the benefits of living in a democracy and the freedoms afforded to them in the United States by the Constitution. Just last week, extraordinarily rare bipartisan outrage erupting on Capitol Hill after the presidents of 3 of America's top universities defended freedom of speech on their campuses. You heard that right. The presidents of Harvard, MIT, and the University of Pennsylvania uniformly defended freedom of speech and were widely condemned by Democratic and Republican lawmakers. The instantly viral moment occurring when Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik asked the presidents whether, quote, calling for the genocide of Jews would violate their school's policies. The presidents all giving lawyerly answers to that question, which amounted to, it depends and context matters. Harvard, MIT, and UPenn, like virtually all other large institutions, have codes of conduct specifically prohibiting targeted harassment. So why does context matter, especially when we're talking about genocide? The answer to that question goes to the heart of the First Amendment, which Harvard, MIT, and UPenn strive to uphold despite not being required to do so as private universities. As the Supreme Court has ruled time and time again, the First Amendment protects not just pleasant speech, but virtually all speech, including calls for violence in the absence of an actual immediate threat. And that fundamental right is not only critical to preserving individual freedom in America, but also fostering learning and growth, especially at colleges and universities. So where is the line on college campuses between protected awful speech and targeted harassment? Sometimes it's blurry, but it is certainly not too complicated for the smartest minds at Harvard, MIT, and UPenn to figure out, or even the empty-headed members of Congress to determine. There is, without question, a big difference between standing in the quad of a university calling for the killing of all Jews and sending anti-Semitic text messages to Jewish students. Both are atrocious and deeply offensive to me as a Jewish American. But the former is protected speech under the First Amendment, while the latter is clearly targeted harassment. It is also, in my view, targeted harassment to stand outside of a Jewish student's dorm room or a Jewish fraternity chanting anti-Semitic slogans all day and all night. And even if you don't care about the First Amendment or individual freedom, as sadly appears to be the case for more and more Americans, important to remember is that silencing hate speech, censoring what can be said, does not make abhorrent, evil ideas go away. No, it drives them underground, where those who share dangerous, repugnant views become radicalized, because they are now not confronted with the flaws in their thinking. And once radicalized, it is only a matter of time before terrorism erupts and people literally die. And the fact that this is lost on many Americans, as we are seeing a rise in anti-Semitism around the globe, including the worst attack on Jewish people since the Holocaust last month, is deeply troubling. Freedom of speech is our first line of defense against hate. We need to protect this right now more than ever. Thank you for watching Graf's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share. It really helps me grow this channel. And join me tomorrow for more.